Listen, I mean, I guess this is to the whole team here. What a transformation. Jeff, I mean, you're just exuding energy now.
You're a picture of health, really.
Well, yeah, I am now. You should have seen me 9 months ago. I mean, I was literally dying with diabetes. There's no question about it, with cocktail drugs and everything that was going on. My foot would collapse with Charcot's foot, which is another side effect.
Yeah.
And I couldn't walk, I couldn't move around, couldn't do hardly anything at all. And the boys decided to grab a hold of me and see what they can do.
I guess it's difficult to put into words what you do want to say, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm so proud of these guys. They've done so much for me. They've totally changed my life. Basically, they've stuck themselves with their dad for several more years now. They probably
It's lovely.
But it's a wonderful, wonderful job and a wonderful feeling. I just feel like a totally different man.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's been a positive outcome for you, Jeff, but unfortunately, John, it wasn't as great for your dad, was it? I mean, this is something that's very close to your heart.
Yeah, it's my dad suffered. We were talking briefly. My father suffered from diabetes as well, and it's tough. And if you don't take the bull by the horns, which I'm glad your sons did, it can be cannot end so well. And so I didn't get an extra few years out of my dad. So I'm glad you guys will.
No, it's one of those things that is. You know now that it is treatable to some degree. You can do something about it, but it does need a lot of personal effort. You can't just expect the NHS to treat you, which they will do. They'll medicate you as much as they feel you need to, but at the end of the day, that's what's going to kill you as well.
And so you've got all these personal challenges, obviously, that we've seen there. What else is in store?
Well, we said with Fixing Dad from the start, as a project, we made a pact and said, it's not just going to be about weight loss, it's not just about the fitness, it's also about the nutrition side and the mind side as well. And the mind, I think, is what we're hoping is going to make the film as accessible as possible to a lot of people, because the mind, frankly, has been hilarious, and we've probably got about 110 hours of brilliant comedy. So there's lots more to come and lots more challenges. So some of what you see on the intro there is just typical of the kind of stuff that we've been doing. But more big challenges to come, which we can't really disclose at the moment, but lots more going on.
Well, there is one specifically that we'd like to talk about, Jeff, because with the help of our research team here at The One Show, they've worked very hard, along with Ian here. And Ian, would you like to explain to your dad what his next big challenge is?
For you.
Not more.
You're going to be going to Croatia and basically talking to 300 doctors about diabetes from a patient's perspective, basically. So from your perspective as a diabetic.
Good grief!
So you better start planning what you're going to say.
The hard thing is you're going to be walking to Croatia.
Take my bike, as I've got my bike with me as well. Is this part of the Fixing Dad project?
This will be part of the project, yeah. This is part of the. We've been looking for a goal like that for a while now, and yeah, that's brilliant to be able to have you actually doing something positive.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much.
Very good luck. We look forward to seeing the full version as well of the film when it's ready. Well done, Jeff.
Terrific.
And if this family story has inspired you and you want to help fix your mum, your dad, your grandparents, your children, email us with your story.
Jeff, you're still gobsmacked.
I certainly am.
Before you
can't
go,
believe that
do you fancy doing a bit of cricket with John? Because
I will certainly
Phil's
try.
Up. Yeah, you're going to have a go at bowling a googly?
Last time was about, well, I was 10, I think, last time I bowled.
All right, then.
Right.
No pressure, don't worry about it. It's all good fun. It's all good fun. Now, last night, Miranda brought us the story of the San Salvador rock iguanas that were smuggled into the UK from the Bahamas at the beginning of this year.
Now, part one ended as Miranda was boarding a plane to the Bahamas. Tonight, she's following the critically endangered species as they're released back into the wild.
On the 3rd of February 2014, customs officials at Heathrow Airport seized 13 San Salvador rock iguanas, one of the world's most endangered animals. Today, for only the second time in history, the UK Border Force is returning these animals to their home in the Bahamas.
Just before we do go, I'd like to say a very special welcome to Miranda and Sam, the team from The One Show.
It's a 9-hour flight, and whilst every precaution has been taken to ensure their safety, we've no way of telling how the iguanas are doing, so it's a tense wait before land comes into view.
We are now finally on our descent down into Nassau, the island capital of the Bahamas.
The iguanas have touched down, and whilst they change planes for the next part of their journey, there's just enough time to attend a special meeting marking their return to home soil. So important is the return of these individuals to the government of the Bahamas that the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of the Environment have called a press conference. And here we are.
We must use events such as today to commit to redouble our efforts in protecting these wonderful animals for our future generations.
To take the iguanas on their final flight to San Salvador, the Royal Bahamas Defence Force has provided a single-engine Cessna 208. It's an hour's journey across the islands of the Bahamas before we see it on the horizon, San Salvador, the first land sighted by Christopher Columbus on his epic journey to the Americas. The iguanas are greeted by an enthusiastic welcome party before embarking on the last leg of their journey, this time by land. They're on their way to the Iguana Research Centre, where they'll be monitored in quarantine before finally being released back into the wild. On arrival, Dr. Thomas Rothfuss and his team give the iguanas a full health examination. Then they're weighed, measured and allocated individual pens. By evening, each iguana is in place, but it's going to be a long night as we'll have to wait till morning to see if they've made it.
So we put them to bed last night. How do you think they're doing? They all look very happy, don't they?
All look happy. It's like they've been out in the sun.
So why are 12 iguanas so significant? It doesn't sound like a really big number.
A lot of the populations they come from number from 10 to about 20, 25. So we start eliminating 12 and it really could decimate a population.
And what about the future for the population of the iguanas as a whole? How's it looking?
The news stories when it started coming out about the capture of these smuggled iguanas, a lot more attention came to the plight of this animal. I think people at the Bahamas suddenly realized the rest of the world is very interested in one of these guys.
The iguanas will be held at the research centre for 2 months before they can be returned to the wild. But to see the kind of habitat into which our iguanas will eventually be released, I'm travelling to Green Key, a small neighbouring island. It's one of the last places on Earth where the San Salvador rock iguana can be seen in the wild, and immediately I'm struck by the lack of fear shown by these animals.
In the UK, when I get close to a wild animal, it wants to run away from me. And this chap has just turned around. He looks really interested in us, like we're no threat at all.
That's one of the problems with these guys, and I think why they're so susceptible to being smuggled. These guys probably have been fed by people stopping by on boats, and so they've learned not to be too concerned with us, but you could easily imagine being able to capture this guy.
It's great to see them out in the open in their wild habitat. Our iguanas have certainly had an adventurous last 6 months, but now they're back on home soil and soon to be released out into the wild to join fellas like this one here. To smuggle any animal out of its native country is criminal. Thankfully, though, this wildlife crime story has had a happy ending.
Yes, it has. Good ending for the iguanas.
Yeah, and Miranda's still there. She hasn't even sent us a postcard.
Not bad ending for her either. Now, the question is, though, John, how is Mad Men going to end? The final series, it airs over here very shortly.
Yeah, I feel comfortable in giving you guys the ending because it's odd. Don Draper gets arrested for smoggling iguanas. So I think it works on like a thematic.
There you go.
Okay, we look out for that.
That is the official line on
Brilliant.
it. There you go.
Now, our Phil's been a busy boy. Not only is he going to teach John here how to bowl.
Yeah, he's also been getting arty in Cambridge.
For many people, the art of a good book lies in the writer's ability to bring the characters and events to life. I'm no exception. For me, the key to any great book is a story that jumps off the page. Which is why I'm here in Cambridge. The city has been a centre for literature and learning since the 13th century. But I'm here to meet someone who's more interested in cutting up books than reading or writing them. These paper carvings are the work of Justin Rowe, who has been breathing new life into books no one wants. And appropriately enough, he works in a bookshop. I'm assuming you like books. What gave you the idea to start cutting them up?
I love books. The reason I first started cutting them up was I was tasked with creating a window display at Christmas for the shop. And it was actually my wife's suggestion. She said, why don't you try and do some paper sculpture? And I thought, well, paper sculpture, books. So that's how it began, really. It's all done by hand with a scalpel blade, so it's pretty intricate. It's quite a long-winded process, but I think it's worth it. I made 3 books in the first display, and I put them in the window and not really expecting very much, and the response was just amazing.
These displays were the start of a new chapter in Justin's life. He spends less time behind the till now to meet the demand for his paper carvings. So how do you go about choosing the books to make your artwork from?
Well, sometimes there's an illustration in a book, other times there's a particular story I might want to do. So I did one from The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and I had this image in my mind, the famous image of the lamppost. I think children's books and children's stories work particularly well because books that are read to you or you read as a child, and they have a sort of magical quality, and that's what I try to bring across in my sculptures, really.
And what would you say to people who'd say cutting up books is wrong?
I deliberately choose books that are otherwise going to end up in landfill, so I get them from junk shops and really cheaply from charity shops and that kind of thing.
Creating art from paper isn't new. In the 4th century, Chinese royalty carved paper embroidery patterns. In the 1500s, German artists worked with scissors to create intricate silhouettes. And 17th century Dutch artist Johanna Curtin's intricately carved portraits were so popular they outsold Rembrandt. Justin's got a long way to go before he's that famous. For now, he creates at his kitchen table. Shall we have a go?
OK. You can put in as much detail as you like, but I like to put in lots of little bits of branches and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, look, see, I've just chopped a bit of branch off there.
Oh, you see, well, that was meant to be. The tree was always going to be that shape.
It was?
Yes.
Oh, so that's not a bad thing. Just go with it. So do you think sort of anyone could have a go at this at home?
Oh, absolutely. All you need is a scalpel and some old books.
So what do you do then? Just glue them in?
Just a bit of glue.
Boom, boom.
And then we just need to plant them in place.
Yeah.
Like that. Just hold them down and, in theory, they will stay.
More recently, Justin's been working on a more modern book to create a 21st century scene. Oh, fantastic.
I don't know if you recognise it.
Look at that. I know those two on the sofa.
It's my interpretation of the One Zero studio.
Yeah, brilliant. And I like the bear.
We've got a bear cameraman, yeah. And there's just one final finishing touch for this. I've got this chap here that needs to go in.
Oh, I say. Where's he going there? Just on there?
That's it, just on that sofa. Great.
What a handsome chap.
Remarkably accurate on the whole crew. Amazing, really. Amazing. Now, we're going to see if baseball fan John here,
Baseball John. I'll go with it.
Baseball John has got what it takes to be a spin bowler, because Phil is an incredibly good spin bowler.
All right, well, my strengths may lie more in pace than spin. We'll see.
It's fair to say in the movie it's a little bit derogatory to cricket. Would you say it can be played by
toddlers?
Well, yes, I think. I didn't write the script. I didn't write it.
Fair enough.
Well, listen, have a little go first before Phil gives you any...
All right. So I just lit it, and it's okay if it bounces.
Listen, that was Alex's...
As long as I keep it below that, I'm in good shape.
Here we go.
All right.
Oh, he's gone. Oh!
That didn't bounce.
So good.
That's pretty good.
That's the baseball version.
That's the baseball version.
I know, I did bend the elbow.
Yeah, that might be called a no ball.
No pressure, Phil. You know.
There you go. You want me to have a go now?
You sort of wrecked the item, because Phil was going to show you how to do it.
Well, there you go. But now spin bowling is different. That's pace. Spin bowling is all about, so when the ball pitches, it doesn't go straight on. It can go that way or that way to sort of outfox, the batsman. So he misses it. And so it's a bit like opening a door. Opening a door like that. So
do you know what? We haven't got time for the demo.
Let's just have a go.
John can do it. Go on.
See it. I want to see it.
Oh, David Badale. Go on, Jeff, quickly.
Go on, Jeff.
Oh, lovely. Right, John, this is it.
All right, last one. Here we go.
Oh,
harder to do that way.
Listen, thank you for being such a great sport tonight.
You've been brilliant. Thank you so much.
We're going to be back tomorrow with Peter Capaldi.
Yes,
see you later.
Bye.
Right.